name's Barb Abney, and I'm talking to Dominic Howard, the drummer for Muse. I want to thank you for taking the moment to call in and chat with us.
Hey, you're welcome.
The new record, it's been almost a year since you released it, right?
Yeah, almost a year. It came out on September the 10th, so yeah, almost a year of touring.
Quite a bit, yeah. I was going to say, you're going to be here in the Twin Cities.
I'm looking forward to coming there, yeah. We haven't been there for a long, long time, so it's going to be nice to get back. It's kind of like the second leg of the tour, because we did a big chunk of touring in like March and April, so we're certainly looking forward to it.
It's interesting to see with every record, your band gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're playing bigger festivals. Do you have one festival that just kind of stands out as your favorite?
I mean, there's so many amazing ones. We just played Coachella this year, and that's an amazing festival over here. Just so beautiful, out in the desert. I mean, the stage doesn't really have a backdrop. The backdrop is the scenery, so you have mountains and palm trees and things. You know, it's a really, really nice festival, and really great eclectic bill as well, which is really cool. You know, Glastonbury Festival's really amazing down in the UK, because that's very close to where we all grew up as well. Mm-hmm. And probably the biggest festival in the world, because it gets 160,000 people there or something like that. So wow. That's amazing. And, you know, for just pure, like, rock, the Reading Festival in the UK is just brilliant. That was actually the first festival we ever went to when we were kids, so it's not too big. You can get around, just see so much really, really quickly.
So going to the Reading Festival and, you know, being on stage at the Reading Festival, do you kind of look out and say, oh, yeah, that's where we stood, right there?
Yeah, it was amazing, because I was totally having, like, flashbacks from when I was there in the crowd when I was, like, 16 or 17 watching Rage Against the Machine and, like, going, oh, my God, this is genius. And, like, looking up at the stage and thinking, that stage is so massive. I've never seen anything like it. But I had this kind of small little dream or this little thought in the back of my mind that one day we'd actually get to play it, you know? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about that moment when I was playing on stage, but it was a very special gig.
Have you ever thought of curating your own festival and where you'd hold it?
Yeah, definitely thought about that kind of thing. A year ago, actually, when we launched this album, we did a festival in our hometown in Teignmouth, which is a very small town, it's only like 15,000 people. This is where we all grew up and met at school and started the band in the first place. Okay. There's a patch of grass down by the seafront where me and Matt actually met. And, like, when we first met, we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do a gig on this piece of grass called The Den? And 16 years later, we actually did it. But it was really cool because we locked down the whole town. It was like, because it's such a small town, all the streets had to get shut. And wow. It was like a 2-day thing, and we got loads of local bands on, and we literally turned it into a festival. So it really made us think, wow, this would be cool to do something like this down in our local area where we're from as well. So we could do it, you know. You just need a couple of good bands to headline, you're off.
There you go, yeah. And realizing a dream, right?
Yeah.
How amazing.
Yeah, there's been loads of those over the years, which is quite special.
So let's talk about the Resistance a little bit. I am a diehard side one, track one fan. And, you know, Uprising just straight out of the gates, just, you know, just right. Such a great tune. And here, stateside, it's been nominated for a couple of different MTV awards.
Yeah.
But I've got to ask, and I would be remiss in my duties as a DJ, are you big fans of Doctor Who?
Well, I suppose, you know, some people think it's got a bit of a Doctor Who influence or like feel to it, but it's, you know, it's got a very kind of sci-fi vibe to it, that's for sure. I used to watch Doctor Who when I was a kid, you know, back when Tom Baker and his colourful scarf were like the star of the show. But now they kind of, I think there's some kind of revival of it back in the UK now, and it still looks as silly as it did back in the 70s, you know, with like rubber aliens running around and a few Daleks, you know, so right. I haven't really got into the new one.
Now, I've heard that you're the one that, like, is good about updating the Facebook and the MySpace and Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, well, I try to. We all do, in fact. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, it's good. You know, it's great to kind of feel that you can actually be quite personable with the fans and feel like you're getting kind of close. You know, you can reply if you like. It's cool. Can
we talk Twilight for just a minute?
Sure.
Had Stephanie Meyer come to you guys and said, oh, I am a huge fan of your music before the books came out?
Probably not before the book came out, but before the first film came out, she came to a gig in Phoenix, I think, we obviously didn't know, but we were told that, she had just knocked off Harry Potter on the book chart or something like that. And we were like, oh, cool. So she came back and we met her, and she was, very, very nice, and said that she was a big fan and how our music inspires her books. But it was only at that stage where she said, oh, yeah, I think we're going to make it into a film, so it'd be cool for you guys to get involved and this and that. And we're like, yeah, cool. I mean, she's just always been a big fan, and it was only after we met her that we found out that she put all these dedications in her book. So that's how it started with, giving them Supermassive Black Hole to use in the film. And wherever she is and wherever we are, if she can make it, she's there. And you're listening to Theft of the Dial on The Current. This is Don from Muse on Theft of the Dial, 89.3 The Current. So I'm going to play just a few of some of my favourite tracks of the moment. I think we'll start with LCD Sound System. I love this band, very kind of like indie electro band. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, but I'm a big fan of this band. And this is their new single. We've just had a little bit of time off from touring right now, so I just went to Vegas, hanging around in Los Angeles, and just, relaxing, going out to a few bars and having a few drinks, and thought that this track would be very apt for what I've been seeing and feeling. So this track is called Drunk Girls, so check it out. Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
So that was Refused and New Noise, who are a great Swedish punk band. If you don't know these guys and you're into your punk rock, you should definitely have this CD in your collection. It's off an album called The Shape of Punk to Come, which is a really, really pioneering album of the time, and like the most eclectic, strange punk rock album you'll ever hear, because it's got so many different influences into the album, and, it's so, so diverse. You guys should definitely hear it, and what you could probably tell from what you just heard is how influential this band has been on so many bands over the recent years, particularly with a lot of American rock music that's come out, a lot of kind of metal as well. You can really hear a big influence from these guys. So I really urge all you guys, all you listeners, to go out and buy this album. It's totally spectacular, called The Shape of Punk to Come from Refused. Still listening to Theft of the Dial on 89.3 The Current. So the next track I'm into these days, well, I've been into this album for quite a long time, as soon as it came out, in fact. It's a track called Phantom by Justice, the French electronic duo, the Parisians, I think, that's where they're from. And this album just blew me away when I heard it, basically. I mean, I love electronic music, and this particularly really appealed to me with how rock it is, because it's so, so heavy as well. So you should check this out, enjoy it. It's got lots of, dirty, filthy, distorted synths in it. It's really, really cool. Great beats, interesting breaks. So I hope you enjoy it. Justice and Phantom. Deep Purple there with Maybe I'm a Leo. And to be honest, I've only just got into Deep Purple. I was in a bar. It was actually on Matt's birthday, and we're in Italy, in Como, which is actually where we recorded our album. It was his birthday. We were all drunk in a bar, and there was a TV on with this 70s band performing, and I was like, whoa, that's totally cool, and didn't know who it was, and then realised it was Deep Purple. So I'm a new boy into the Deep Purple scene, and love that track because it's just fat riffing. And again, it kind of makes me realise how many bands they've obviously influenced over the years, but that was, Maybe I'm a Leo off the album Machine Head. Check it out. This is Don from Muse on Theft of the Dial. Still going here with a few of my favourite tracks. Next one up is Rage Against the Machine and Know Your Enemy. And I've always got to play a bit of Rage Against the Machine because they're probably still my favourite band of all time. And as many of you know, this album still sounds classic. And I just saw them the other day, actually. They played in Rock and Ring Festival in Germany. And we went a day early to go and see them, and they were just totally rocking out. And we got to meet them as well for the first time, which was totally genius. Here you go, there's a musical void without any new music from Rage Against the Machine, so hopefully they'll come back and do something new sometime soon, but here it is, Rage Against the Machine, Know Your Enemy. That was Arcade Fire and Wake Up. I hope you enjoyed that. That's the last track. That's a great sing-along track, and it's actually off their first album, Funeral, but their new album that's just come out, Suburbs, is great as well, so everyone should check that out. looking forward to seeing you guys when we come and play in Minneapolis on October the 5th at the Target Center. So enjoy. Have a good time. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.
You are awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the show.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.